Welcome back to the Nerdrotic channel. My name is Gary Beekler, and I am live in San Francisco, California, and I come to you from nerdrotic.com, and down in San Diego is my good friend and co-host, Dennis Bethalkis. Dennis, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing all right. Better than Viking Bitch, who has a case of the Mondays.
You got a case of the Mondays. Did you get the TPS reports, Viking Bitch?
Yeah, you're going to have to come in on Saturday.
You're going to have to come in on Saturday and then binge Daredevil. We're here. We have finished Daredevil season 3. Daredevil season 3. Which, well, where's my paddle?
Yeah.
Spoiler warning. We will be spoiling
myself in the face.
That would have been funny.
I almost went whack.
Press F if you want Dennis to hit himself in the face with
not gonna happen.
the paddle. We got to do what the people want, man. Spoiler alert. We're going to spoil the crap out of this show like we always do.
Mm-hmm.
And, but if you've seen a Netflix superhero show, you won't be spoiled. So there you go.
Especially if you saw a Netflix Marvel superhero show.
Well, I'm going to start off with, if you all saw the ending, oh my God, everybody's pressing F. Dennis?
Ain't going to happen.
It's all right. I'll hit him in the face next time I see him. Out of love for you guys. You know, we do what the people want here. All right. So Daredevil ends with a lot of finality. That's the impression I got. I think we just saw our final season of Daredevil, folks. I could be wrong, but and we did do a podcast on this when we first heard that Disney's agreement with Netflix ends in 2020. That Netflix 2019. Maybe it's 2019. Either way, Netflix is feeling a lot more confident than they were in 2015. They have a lot of their own programming. It's very strong. Their value is greater than Disney and Fox combined. And they canceled Luke Cage on the day they premiered Daredevil. That's exactly what it looks like. That was a message. That was an absolute message. And they buried Daredevil. It was hard to find. Every time I jumped out and jumped back in, it didn't pop right back on my screen. They kept on showing The Haunting of Hill House. And I don't know how it was for you guys. And maybe that's just my cookies. I don't know.
Punisher kept coming up for me, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, Punisher came up for me too. It did. So I don't know what's up with that. But as far as season 3 goes, I did like it. I did. It was, I would say, a 7.5 to 8 out of 10 for me. Had some flaws. It's not, I see again from our media, I see a lot of this is the best Daredevil season ever. And it might be for some people. For me, it was the third best. And we have 2 super chats, by the way.
Yes, we do. So we had one for $1.99 to begin with, which was from Movie Fanobi for Gary. Overall, Daredevil season 3 pretty good, and wrap up meh. Yeah,
you pretty much gave my whole review right there, Movie Fanobi.
And another Movie Fanobi for $4.99. Great line in the series. Don't you understand? We're all broken. The point is to find the person whose broken pieces fit with yours, Vanessa. Yeah, there's another line in there too that I'm gonna have to dig up, that Crazy Carlos actually posted earlier today, and I started laughing because it kind of summed up some writing that I found questionable.
Well, Daredevil's on its 3rd showrunner. Okay, so this isn't the showrunner who it began with I believe Stephen Knight and Drew Goddard.
Yep.
And I forgot who did season 2, but it wasn't either one of them due to scheduling conflicts. And this was Olsen, the Tamarocks. Hail Tamarocks. I feel like if this is all we get from Daredevil, then at least they wrapped it up decently. Not like how Sarah Connor Chronicles ended. That was horrible. That was tragic. I mean, they could have given us a movie or something with Sarah Chronicles. And I promise you, we will do, maybe on a Friday night, we'll dedicate about a half an hour to the Sarah Connor Chronicles because it deserved it. It is a great show. With Daredevil, just for me, highlights. Sister Maggie was a highlight.
Yeah.
Charlie Cox, great performance. Everybody, Deborah Wall, they all did a really, really good performance. Vincent D'Onofrio was great as the Kingpin, as always. Best Marvel villain. It's the plot though. So this his last name is Olsen. He was a showrunner for Man in the High Castle. And there was some really again, this could have been 10 episodes. There was some filler episodes. The Karen episode until the end was not necessary. I did not need to know that flashback to her. I got so frustrated with that when I'm like, we're not going to Vermont with we're going to Vermont.
And also her father's a dick. That's all I'm gonna say.
And and he's written like a dick because we can't have good dads in anything.
Yeah.
Of course the dad's a dick. I was like, oh, the dad's gonna be a dick. Yep. Yeah, there he goes. And yeah, so I wasn't surprised with that. It was very basic writing, and the only thing it was there for was to show that she accidentally killed her brother, and that's the reason she was in New York anyway. But they also skirted around what kind of was the best part of Karen in the Daredevil comics was her dying. I'm sorry, but Karen Page was just kind of a nothing character until Frank Miller got a hold of her. Now, you know, she was a strong character in this show. She's always has been. So she's not just a bimbo. You know, she's really smart, sassy, good reporter. I most of all I liked her, you know, especially season 1, her interaction with Ben Urich and her, you know, finding her way. I felt like she kind of took a step backwards a little bit, and we didn't need to see Vermont. She could have just told that story. Now, the end of that episode was great, but
yeah.
Before I get to what really bothered me, go on.
I'm just gonna say, yeah, I know you're rambling there. I was gonna wait for you to take a breath there. When she actually confronts Wilson Fisk and tells him that she killed James Wesley, that's my favorite scene, where they're going back and forth, you know, trying to one up each other to piss each other off. And when she tells him about James Wesley, and she goes, and I shot him 7 times because I ran out of bullets because he deserved a lot more. I was like, fuck yeah, that's actually kind of badass right there. You know?
No, there's a couple of great scenes when she's kind of hit up on the street and she shows her gun. But again, Karen's not a Mary Sue in any way. She's deeply flawed. Very Leo, and again, excellently played. No costume, folks.
No costume.
There's
except for
fucking
Bullseye wearing Daredevil's costume
at all. And that's a huge mistake. He reclaims the costume at the end of the show. How they dropped the fucking ball on this one, I would be probably giving this thing a much better review if he had just worn the costume in the last episode. I have read the comics. I know he goes back to the basics. The problem is when you're in season 3 of a TV show, you don't go back to the basics. Back to the basics is like a season 6 or 7 move, not a season 3 move.
And also they went back to the beginning. Is we were talking about this in our very, very long pre-production meeting, how all these Netflix shows, they take 3 steps forward and then 5 steps back. And then they go right back to the very beginning. And it seems to be this trend now with Netflix shows that we're seeing, is that you start off, you go on this little journey, and it brings you all the way back around full circle again. You come right back to the beginning where you started in season 1.
Yeah.
And nothing ever happens. And it's like, well, what's the point then?
At first I thought they were now Kingpin did turn into the Kingpin, in my opinion. He took over the FBI. So that was impressive. The fact that they dropped his name finally, and that's what he's known for. Very impressive. Ray Nadeem, his character was good, had an arc, had a purpose. So Vincent D'Onofrio, I have nothing bad to say about him. He was fucking brilliant. And his plot was good. At first I was like, are they just going to be is it going to be locked up Kingpin again? But no, they really paid that off well. I hate to report this. I love Daredevil, and I thought this was a good season. It's not the best. I thought it was good. It just, the ending fell a little flat for me.
Okay, was it me, or did Vanessa's character, I don't know, the actress playing her, seemed a little bit forced?
I
didn't find her. I know she's supposed to be as menacing and as cold and calculated as he is, and I actually kind of laughed a little bit, to tell you the truth, when she's ordering, the death of Nadeem. And because the way she did it, it just sounded really kind of like ha ha ha, ha ha ha,
Um, I I don't know. I saw her turning that way in Daredevil in season 1. So uh, that would have been my only problem with Daredevil season 1 is her turn was kind of quick, but she loves her man. So that and she also explains she's got a dark side too. But it's that's why hers is a little more sinister, at least in the comics, because she comes off as this very classy lady who you can talk to and reason with, and she'll listen to you and nod and go, "I totally understand how you feel. You're gonna die anyway." That's Vanessa. That's the way she is. So I was cool with that. Avocados at law, $4.99 from Feisty fan. Thank you, Feisty. Good to see you. Thank you for the super chat.
Kirk Anderson, what did you guys think of Bullseye? I loved him. I liked him. I was very disappointed. I did not see the costume. And then the whole thing that kept going on in his head really got to be annoying after a little bit of time. I think the third time that it happened, I was like, no, stop doing this shit. It's ridiculous.
Well, it's supposed to be annoying. It's supposed to be annoying. Well, I liked Bullseye. I did. And what we saw, though, is typical Netflix. We saw the origin of Bullseye. We did not see Bullseye. Now, Bullseye, a full-fledged Bullseye, is actually completely calm and in control for the most part. He enjoys what he does. He's not this rage-filled, at least, okay, I don't know how they've written him in the last 5 years, because I can't say I've read a ton of Bullseye in the last 5 years, so they could completely change the character. But the one from Frank Miller, I'll never forget. I talked about this forever when people go Bullseye, that's a lame villain. I'm all, no, Bullseye killed a cab driver with a playing card. He kills people with paper clips, which they did in the Daredevil movie, but the Bullseye in the Daredevil movie was ridiculous. Yeah. Okay. He was again this frothing maniac and somebody who is particular, who is meticulous and never misses would be the kind of person in control, you think. Yeah. But I thought the guy played him really well, and him being in the Daredevil costume was fine for a while, I think. But I really thought, I just got my expectations up when he said he's coming back for his costume. I'm like, yes, you're going to rip that fucking thing on it and put it on right there over his naked, broken body. And they didn't do it.
Well, also, you saw the playing cards hanging inside his safe, didn't you? The little packets of playing cards that were hanging on the door of the safe when
yeah, and that's what we get.
I was waiting for that. Yeah,
we get Spider-Man Easter eggs like way in the background, and then we get somebody saying Kingpin once, and they're like starving comic fans, and we're like, oh, we said Kingpin, it's the greatest show ever. No, he should have been Kingpin by now.
Mufanobi, I agree with you. If Vanessa had went to Leslie Ann Warren's house and kind of reasoned with her and didn't get what she wanted and then killed her in cold blood, it would have sold her maniacal nature a lot better.
That's a great point. Yeah, that's a great point. By the way, that whole scene was not necessary.
No, it wasn't.
Why was that there? Yeah. What? I'm like watching it going, huh?
What I was like, hey, it's Leslie Ann Warren. China?
It's Leslie Ann Warren talking about how she was in a concentration camp and, huh?
Yeah, it was. Okay. It was.
Did they just want to work that into the story for some reason?
They wanted to show how evil that Bullseye could be by going and taking this, thing that Wilson Fisk was supposed to have a little bit of heart by saying, "No, I'm going to let you keep it." And then they're supposed to show that Vanessa didn't care that Bullseye went and took it from her and killed this woman.
Yeah. But that whole
was,
scene,
it was really stupid. I agree. There were so many other things they could have done. And speaking of, we keep talking about feelings in hallways. This was feelings in the church basement. I think every single character that we saw was in that church basement at one point in time or another.
It was a happening place for feelings, but it is a church basement. I like the mother Maggie.
Matt I like her. Yeah, I love the mother Maggie, except when she cried. Sister Maggie, excuse me. When she broke down and cried when he left, and you could tell she was trying to force it out, and it came off. I was like,
I don't agree with that.
I was kind of.
I don't agree with that. I thought she rocked it. I thought she was good. She was good.
That was my only thing about that. I mean, everything else was
But dude,
spot
like
on.
as somebody who met his adopted mom like late in life, that hit me right in the freaking feels when she like said, you know, when she dropped that she's his mom, and he's like, what? That was rad. I
At
thought
the
it was
end of
great.
episode 8, yeah, when that happened, I was like,
Oh,
wow, that was actually pretty good. They did a good job on that
freaking
one.
Matt Murdock, just like a boy for his mommy. He's all mommy, you know, like in the middle of his big old fight thing, and he's like just broke right down. I want my mom.
Look, I was in the middle of a montage.
And then I know, right in the middle. It's a montage destroyed by feelings.
And then we go to some of the writing. Carlos, Crazy Carlos, actually posted something on Facebook today, which made me laugh. Everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. And I was like, what? I remember when I listened to that, I was like, that's fucking stupid.
If it's not okay, it's not the end.
Everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. Actually, this was, I remember
Tell that to Father Lantham.
Exactly.
Tell that to Ray. Yeah. Tell that
it was
to
Father Lantham.
Was it Julie? Oh my God, that poor girl.
Yeah.
There was some cold-blooded killing in this, and that's the one thing I kind of did like when Wilson Fisk took out the girl that Bullseye was stalking. Oh shit. And it was just
the
like
painters, the guys who killed her too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And yeah, I mean, like, how's he gonna get workers? We're like, oh man, he's got a great health plan. The problem is, like, we'll never need it because we're gonna die. Because if we kill, then somebody's gonna kill. I don't know, like, just doesn't work for long term, I would say. But
I had to counter with the other line that I thought was pretty damn stupid, which was the attachment is the root of suffering. Namaste. After he beats the shit out of somebody, this is Karen's boyfriend. And at that point, I was starting to think that maybe some of the script was written by a first-year English major with a minor in comparative religious studies. That's all, you know.
Well, I don't know if they got the religious stuff right because I don't know much about it. But that, you know, that's part of the comic book. I mean, I don't know about Namaste, but that is definitely part of the comic book. So that is all from, and they stay pretty faithful to some. There's actually scenes that when Bullseye, dressed as Daredevil, is throwing like the church candles at him.
Yeah.
That's straight up from the comic book, and
the rosary beads, which he was using as like little BB or little bullets. And that's the whole thing. They don't bring up anything about mutants because, of course, they can't. And it's like, okay, so where did he get these powers from? Because it's definitely powers. It's not, you know, a natural ability or anything like that, unless you have powers. So
they just decided to say he's got some powers. Which is fine. I honestly, I want established superheroes. This is my main beef with Netflix and a lot of other shows. It's not just, I want established superheroes. Man, you know what? It looked like we were going to get close with Titans. The problem is the actual writing's wrong. It's bad, but we're getting there. Daredevil season 2 was an established Daredevil fighting some bad guys. We had another hero show up, and they went backwards from that. I know I've read some people who are just going, yeah, that's great, going back to basics, and Beyond the trailer loved it. Of course she did. I don't know. I'd have probably given it an 8.5 out of 10 if there was a costume in that last episode. In the last 10 minutes of the last episode, I mean, that's really not asking for much. It's a Daredevil show. How do you sell this brand? What does it say in the titles that you skip every time? It shows a red Daredevil. It doesn't show him in his black. For when he would die in that thing, like, he does need like an armored costume. That's what the whole point of season 1 was, like, I really need this costume. I'm going to die. Now he needed to bloody his hands, and I like the little rope thing that he did. And again, that's
tie ropes.
The comics, that was cool. But I wanted to wait for Daredevil to finish, and then I'm going to work all week on this video on the superhero costume problem.
The other thing was too that when he starts fighting Melvin, Stiltman, who is Stiltman. Okay, that's who he is. If he had just gotten a piece of the fucking suit on, or Gladiator, excuse me. Yeah, if he had just gotten a piece of his suit on, just a small piece of
through a saw blade.
A saw blade. That was it, but it was laying around.
That's Marvel Netflix right there. Oh no! Hey, Bullseye had a hat, baseball hat with his bullseyes.
Don't
Oh, and
even
it
get
was
me
in his
started on that one.
eye at the end too. That we're never going to get because there will be no season 4.
Yeah.
Um,
I told Gary, I kind of, I messaged him and I said, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna call it right now that this is the last season that we get a Daredevil.
which is a bummer. Total
Yeah.
bummer.
And I'm kind of sure because so Netflix also mentioned that they got a $2 billion influx of funding that came in. I want to say, and I don't know for sure, but I'm got an idea that Disney might have given them $2 billion so that they can end everything early so they can start their streaming service.
It really okay. They put everything out in 1 year.
Yeah.
Again, it is what it looks like, folks. It's being rushed. Daredevil is still clearly the best thing. So, I mean, even though I sound like I've got some criticisms, I still mostly like this show. I thought it was like I was entertained. I might even watch it again. I'll probably skip the Karen episode till the end, but some of the stuff was cool that they didn't hold back. This show is one that does need violence in it, and it needs to be brutal, and it fits well in the show, and the acting was good. So there was a lot of good. There's a lot of good. So I would definitely recommend you see it. Now, if they do a season 4, a quick turnaround on a season 4, and Daredevil's in his costume, I'll probably feel differently about season 3. I'll probably like it a little more. But as it stands, it looks like this is like how they end it. So we had 3.5 seasons of Daredevil. We'll count Defenders as a half a season, and that we got a season and a half of a costume, and we got 2 full seasons without one. And
Defenders as well. He was the only one.
That's why I just counted it as a half season. So he's in the costume, and the problem is the costume really stands out in Defenders when nobody else is wearing one. When Jessica Jones is like in jeans, like baggy jeans, and I guess baggy jeans are actually easier to fight in, so that makes sense. But
and he only mentions Jessica Jones. He doesn't mention Luke Cage, doesn't mention Danny Rand, anything like that. And I'm like,
did they mention Frank?
He did mention Frank, actually. Karen does, and so does he does as well. And well, of course they can't bring Frank in because he would kill all the FBI agents.
Well, Frank would have ended the story pretty quick.
You just would have been like, okay, everyone's done, and the Kingpin, right there.
Tarka Jedi does not want to be replaced by a robot.
Too late. It's already happening.
Can I just have him replace me for some stuff? Can I choose what I get replaced for? Mr. Neurotic might like that.
I was going to say, I was going to go to someplace.
Okay, let's get to the chat. We are on a bit of a time limit tonight because Mrs. Neurotic is coming back from LA and her big gig. So,
what was it here? Movie Fanobi asks if Kingpin's suit jacket is lined with armor, and it was. That's why he gave his jacket to Vanessa, because Bullseye was throwing all kinds of shit at him, and
I think it was. Yeah, because he'd had his jackets made like that before.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say yes.
Mako says, I know that without the Catholic priest, things went south in the Expanse. Maybe if the Daredevil priest was there, everything would have been better. I don't know.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. Okay, so what do you guys think? Do you think Karen should have bid it or Father Lantham?
Dude, I still say yeah. She should have. I thought she was going to tell you the truth.
Well, you did that whole episode dedicated to her, so they were completely setting it up, and I think they probably had it originally written in there, and they decided not to. You guys can guess why. You guys can guess why, and I'm gonna say they held back on it because of that. That's how it goes down in the comics. Actually, it's in the comics. Sorry, spoilers. The comic's been out for many years.
Yeah, decades.
She sells Matt's identity to the Kingpin for drugs, and then dies. So
ODs, if I remember correctly, right?
No, she gets killed.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I can't remember. It's been a while. Chris says you guys mentioned that Daredevil didn't don the costume, but in the scene where Bullseye went looking for Julie, wasn't Melvin one of the bodies in the meat locker? No, he was not. Those were the two painters They were two big bald guys that had been in the corridor when Julie had walked in, and one of them shot her in the head, and the other one would pretend like he was painting. So they took care of business there. They cleaned up the first rule of assassination: kill the assassins after
Now,
the job is done.
I thought that was Melvin as well. It was not. And I went back and checked. He got arrested, and they probably want to hold him back. It was good to see him back. I like. God, I love seeing them kind of fight together. That was cool. That was a good scene. I like
that was a really good scene when they were taking down the FBI agents together, and I was like, Melvin's kicking some ass, man.
And dude, the fight in the prison was great. That was fucking great.
Yeah.
A little ridiculous, but I don't give a shit. That was very comic book great. Just like, how the fuck is he gonna get out of this? And is it better than now? I heard people saying it was better than the hallway scene in season 1.
God,
Get the hell out of Dodge, but it was good. It was solid.
It was good. Someone said they did it all in one take.
It might have been. I wasn't. Every time they do the really bad breaky bone thing, I go, ah. I always kind of look away a little bit, a little squeamish on that shit.
Lubella says it ended on a nice note, but I wish we could see the continuing adventures of Matt, Foggy, and Karen.
I would like to see a full season of them not fighting with each other and just fucking being a team.
Yeah. I kind of want to see Daredevil. That's what I want to see. I want to see Daredevil. I want to see costumes. I don't know.
Well, that action figure of the guy in the black sweatsuit and the beanie on is going to be really awesome. I can't wait to not own that.
I was thinking, that'd actually be a really easy Comic-Con costume. I was thinking of doing that with a scissor stuck in the shoulder and the black, long sleeve shirt.
I'm gonna be the guy who got stabbed in the balls with scissors in Titans.
From Titans.
That's what I'm gonna be. I'm gonna go up to the DC booth and go, see what you did. See what you did.
Guess who I am.
Guess who I am. Yeah.
Or guess who I am. The high pitched voice.
Yes.
Mage Grey Wolf says, I've had trouble getting into these Netflix Marvel shows. You're not the only one. It's because it's done by ABC. If you don't like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it's pretty much the same people. So just a little higher production value.
Agents of Sealed. That's
Sealed.
what it feels. Agents of Sealed. I'm sealed off from it. Seals. No, they had two. The first 2 seasons were good. They were good. They had superheroes. They tied into the movies. Then it wasn't good. It's kind of a bummer.
I Cthulhu says, a good name. So no more Kingpin until the cartoons then. I hope not, because D'Onofrio is awesome as the Kingpin. He really needs to come back and put him in the MCU, man. I'm telling you.
It's totally plausible for them to break him out again, and he just runs thing on the run. Like he's remains hidden, or goes to a different country, or actually they could probably find a way to get him out of this one somehow. I would go as far as they even mention it, like something happening to Vanessa and then him just being free of her. I know she's part of the story, but it's really, she's holding him back in the show. The problem is she doesn't hold him back in the comic books. Like she's totally down with everything he does. And the people who haven't read comics, as great as Vince D'Onofrio does, he gets really close, but the real Kingpin is unbelievable, and he's a physical badass. Like beats the shit out of Spider-Man, beats the shit out of Daredevil, and he's kind of superpowered because he's just so fucking big.
Yeah, when he busted through the wall with Daredevil through that painting, and I was like, yeah, that's what it's supposed to be like right then and there. And when he picked up, Bullseye and breaks his back against the wall there, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty much what he's supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Where was this guy all along, man?
We missed a couple super chats, so let me get to them real quick. Thank you. So, wow. Okay, so the Tamrox was the last one, right? No, Feisty fan. Feisty fan for another $1.99. Why can't superheroes just fight supervillains? Feisty, because it's not postmodern enough. Superheroes need to fight gentrification, global warming. They need to fight capitalism and circumstances. Like the next one will be hurricanes. and possibly, yeah, I don't know.
And they have to be social justice warriors too. Don't forget about
They
that.
kind of, yeah. Well, that's according to Mark Waid, all superheroes are social justice warriors. God, it's hard for me to even fucking say that. They which some are, like Green Arrow is. Green Arrow is a social justice warrior, totally. But Batman is not. Batman is not. No. Movie Fanobi, $1.99. Prison Break, awesome, amazing fight choreography. Yeah, I fucking loved it. Thank you, Movie Fanobi, and thank you, Feisty Fan. And Mary Ashmead, the great Lady of the Wrench. Instead of the Lady of the Lake, she's the Lady of the Wrench.
Rough
Prison
Girl
Bakes
says-
and Hallways. Well, if I got a story for you, Mary. No, not on this podcast.
Rough Girl says, I just watched DC Legends and I had a killer unicorn on the show, which is pretty damn funny.
Oh
That's
my
what
God,
this show
I may
will
have
be.
to watch it for that. But then it talked about its feelings in Hallways. It said it was really sad.
It stopped.
It went, my dad beat me because he was a horrible dad, and that's why I kill as a unicorn.
Let's sit here and eat ice cream and talk about our feelings.
Yeah. And then they go, everything's okay because you had a bad dad. It makes all your bad things go away. You had a bad dad.
Nihilist Shadow says, if Disney now controls these characters, do you think they'll reboot the series or finally connect them to the MCU? I mean, for real this time? Well, Disney is starting a streaming service and they do want to start their own shows, kind of like DC Universe has tried to do with Titans. And so, yeah, that's what I think they're going to try and do. Or they're probably going to try and do some live action series and reboot everything. Yeah, I hate to say it.
I'm gonna hold out hope that they bring Daredevil over, at least. I mean, like everything else, if we have to choose one, it'll be Daredevil. But as I said earlier in the Nooner today, Kevin Feige will have control over some of the streaming stuff, which I mean, it's good. That's a good thing. It's a good thing. I'm not complaining. I mean, if we get Jeff Loeb, if it costs us this show to get rid of Jeff Loeb, then so be it.
Yeah.
But Kevin Feige being in control of the television leads me to believe that the streaming TV stuff will tie directly into the MCU, be it prequels or something else, which will be nothing but good. No, I mean, really. And I don't think we'll get these teases.
Yeah, and losing, really good people that were showrunners on this because of stupid shit, honestly, needs to stop as well. So Drew Goddard, you could see what happened between season 1 and season 3 here, and they're night and day. Yeah,
he was just an executive producer. If he was more involved, it would have been better. I can't wait. The fact that he is doing X-Force, I am very excited about.
Oh yeah,
that's probably going to be the best superhero movie ever. Really, Drew Goddard is the man. Drew Goddard is good. Was good in Hollywood. He's a good writer. He's a good director. We need more Drew Goddards. We do.
Jody says, yeah, Kingpin's one of the best villains. Actually, why not just have him run his empire from prison? It's not unheard of for a crime boss to continue to pull the strings that way. Yeah, that's what he does in the comics. He runs everything from prison.
That's how the Hells Angels ran things for years, and how the Norteños still run things, allegedly. I don't know anything.
MS-13.
Yeah. And I won't even say that. I don't even talk about them.
Yeah. Kirk Anderson says, when Kingpin called the meet with all the gang boxes, I was hoping Luke Cage would show up. Yeah, or have some kind of mention at least, or something. I mean, it was just
be cool. You know what would make me watch Jessica Jones season 3, because nothing will at this point, is they kind of do a mini Defenders at the end. Like she has a good hero arc. She kind of redeems herself and then gets in some big trouble. Like, I don't know, Kilgrave comes back and like takes control of her, and she starts, she's basically like the evil Superman. She's the strongest, and then they need to bring the Defenders in to stop her, like Daredevil and Iron Fist and Luke Cage. And I would watch the fucking hell out of that. That would be great.
Yeah, but the way they set up Luke Cage now,
like Injustice her, do an Injustice.
I could see that, but the way they set up Luke Cage now, you can't do that. So they kind of shot themselves in the foot.
That really sucks. Yeah, never end your series on "I'm a criminal" now, because now, especially Okay, I'm not going to come out and say it, but just think about it. They ended Luke Cage as a criminal.
He's not a criminal. He took over
A criminal. Okay,
a criminal
listen to your
empire
logic,
to.
Dennis. I want you to slow down, pump the brakes, and he's not a criminal. He just took over a criminal organization.
Well, he said what he was going to do
Not
was try and use it for good, is what he said.
that always works. Every
That I know
single
it's not going to
time.
always work, but
So
that's
again,
how they
I
set it
say
up.
that he, yeah.
It's really stupid the way they did
Well, they
it. That's
stole
all
a
I'm gonna say.
Daredevil story, by the
They
way.
did.
I mean, they stole a fucking Daredevil story.
Yeah.
Hi, Gary. Sending link to Dennis. It's 1 minute and 30 seconds. Mr. Roboto. Okay, sending a link for what? Oh, by the way, Tommelfinger made the video of the Puffy Amiyumi Teen Titans Go with that guy getting stabbed over and over again. I will share it on Twitter. It's hilarious. It really is. It's good fun. So it's the Teen Titans theme to a very violent act. You just don't watch it with kids or anything or at work.
Viking Bitch season 1 of Jessica Jones was awesome. Season 2 was the complete opposite of that. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Mufinobi says, so the hammer Kingpin used to kill his dad, didn't they mention his mom saved it, but they didn't revisit? Yeah, see, that was the other thing too, is they mention it and then they don't do anything with it when they're talking about trying to find some circumstantial evidence to tie Kingpin to a crime that he might have committed in the past so they can bring him back into prison. That's where I thought they were going with it. That's the reason why they kept talking about this shit. And that pissed me off too, is doing all these little red herrings or not thinking through the storyline enough to kind of connect those dots.
And they connected some and they didn't connect others. Ben Urich did die for nothing, by the way.
He did. He died for nothing, which is really, really stupid. And not only that, Karen's name is pretty much shit now at this point, too.
Yeah.
So...
Well, she got like her paper. There was a lot of mistakes, but that was part of it, and that is Daredevil. If you read the Daredevil comic, he's Marvel's punching bag. He fucks up a lot, and because he's such a goddamn loner and a Catholic, and won't ask for help.
Yeah,
but he'll be there to help people all the time. Like he's a very helpful person, but won't ask for it. That's why I kind of love I love the character. I really do. He has no business being a superhero.
No,
like he should be, like an occasional superhero, but not all the time. Like his power is not that great. Spider-Man's told him that much. Like, why do you do what you do? You could get hurt doing this.
But
with Daredevil needs to get in the MCU. He needs to interact, especially with the street. They really blew it with this. Like, I look forward to getting a Moon Knight, a Shang-Chi. And all the street level heroes, a proper Iron Fist working together, fighting a really scary hand who's not run by a Manhattan socialite, who's run by, and then fucking Madame Gao. They so blew it with her. She was one of the best villains too. I loved Madame Gao.
You know what they should have done with this Marvel series, this Netflix series, is they should have called a show Marvel Team Up. And you have 4-episode arcs with, 2 of your characters coming together and interacting, and you switch them out. So you can have 4-episode arcs. You don't have to pay that much. You get a story in there, and you don't have to really, do that. You don't have to spend a whole bunch of money in order to put together a cohesive story that also showcases your heroes.
And find somebody who can fight, for God's sake. I mean, Charlie Cox learned how to fight.
I do want to say one thing about the fighting. When he is fighting Bullseye inside the newspaper there, I kind of got pissed off because he kept stopping. He'd get Bullseye down and then he would stop and step back from him. And I'm like, well, didn't you just say that you need to get in really close and keep at him all this time? And yet you would fight, then you'd stop and step back and let him gain some breath. Then you move in and fight, and you'd stop and step back. And it's like, okay, if you just told, just told us that you need to keep in and keep hitting him, keep hitting him and knock him down, why would you give him some room to get up and fight again? And that was the other thing that kind of pissed me off, just in the fight scene choreography wise. But maybe it's just me. I don't know. So
Yeah, you're entitled to your opinion, my friend. Totally. I mean, it's totally fucking wrong, but no, I'm just kidding. I like the fighting. That's not what I had a problem with. Goddamn costume. I'm not going to let that one go. I know probably most people are okay with that, but like he had one and they took it away. That's the worst part. I mean, at least Iron Fist, well, no, it was worse than Iron Fist where they teased you, but he had one and they even said, I'm going to take my costume back. And did they cut that scene out?
I don't know,
What a
man.
red herring, dude.
Yeah, it's and Artemis over easy. No, I wasn't pissed off the whole time. There was just little pieces here and there that pissed me off, and it's the overall not showing any heroes again, and not having any kind of resolution. You have a lot of people die for no good reason whatsoever, and then everyone at the end is like, we're getting the gang back together again like it's season 1, and they freeze, the beers clinking together like chink, a Quinn Martin
like
production.
at the end of Police Squad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
By
the way, Mr. Roboto, thank you for the $2 super chat.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so let's go down. I want to read a couple more chaps before we go. Luke Cage season 2 takes place in the fall 2016, and Daredevil season 3 takes place in early 2017. And this is all prior to the snap, by the way.
Jody S, what are your predictions in light of all the cancellations? Everything's gonna. Oh, you probably missed it. I speculated since Netflix said they got a $2 billion influx of cash for some new projects. I believe that's from Disney. That's what I'm just saying right now. In order to end things early and not as sloppy with all the Marvel franchises that they have, that's Disney's buyout of their properties licenses. That's the reason why you keep seeing all these cancellations happening.
Yeah, my prediction is that was it, and it's very disappointing. Now, could they do like a movie or a special where they kind of wrap everything up? Possibly. I think that would be really fun. I think ending on Jessica Jones, I don't know if you want to end on that. So I'm sorry, I was just confirming with this. Mrs. Neurotic has landed. So let's read 2 more chats and then we got to bail. I apologize. If you want to talk more about this, I'm doing a nooner on Monday or Wednesday. Sorry, today's Monday. Wednesday at 9:30 a.m.
Swift says, should they put him in the yellow costume, Gary?
No. No. I mean, like, I am a costume purist, but no.
Mako says, or you think Disney lent them the money at some low interest? I totally think they
I could see Disney, them just giving it to them.
I've given it to them. Yeah, I know they said it was debt, but I'm pretty sure you're not going to hear anything about that $2 billion being paid back at any point in time. That's just given to them. That's the cover story, is what I'm saying.
Honestly, I don't know. Yeah, it does feel like it was rushed. It did kind of raise an eyebrow that so many of them were coming out this year. And don't be surprised at all if you hear Daredevil's canceled. That will be.
I'm waiting for November. I'm waiting for November. It's going to happen.
Well, hopefully it doesn't happen during our podcast on Friday night. Like the last 2 Fridays, we've gotten 2 Netflix shows canceled during the show. So
yeah,
I'm sorry we didn't get all to all your chat. It was really crammed for time today. Unfortunately, I had this big open day, and it just life comes at you fast. It does. So our next show will be the Wednesday morning nooner. If you're watching this live, if you're watching this a video, please go check it out. Every Monday, Wednesday, I do a live stream starting at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. We're also got Friday Night Tights where you can come and talk about. We'll probably talk a lot more Daredevil on Friday. I think more people have seen it by then, and we will definitely talk. And if you want to talk about Haunting of Hill House or Maniac or any other Netflix show, Netflix has been mostly good this year. I will say that they've been mostly good. And most of the TV we have covered has been good, just not of late. But Daredevil was clearly, it's way better than like Doctor Who or Titans or any man. Daredevil's still solid. Okay, so I don't want to sound like we're totally crapping on it. It's a 9:30 nooner. Well, because it's noon somewhere, but Ed Brewer. That's the way I look at it. So you guys are great. Best chat ever. So Sculpted Leather Art by Viking Bitch, Movie Fanobi, Chris Persia, Kato Roan, Tion Ranger, Jody, Ed Brewer, Mako, Artemis over easy. Good to see you, my friend. I Cthulhu and Swift and Captain Spalding, Lubella. How's it going? Silhouetted Animator, Feisty Fan. Going up, I got to do this quickly. Thony H, Crazy Carlos, good to see you, amigo. Philip A. Demick, Swift, Rough Girl. What's up, Rough Girl? How's it going? Saw her earlier. Man, twice in one day, Rough Girl. Man, I am honored. Mage Grey Wolf and Take a Man Blade. And if I missed anybody, I truly apologize. And thank you once again for the super chats who were from Movie Fanobi for $1.99, Movie Fanobi for $4.99, Tamarocks, the great Tamarocks for $30. Jesus Christ.
I know.
Feisty Fan, $4.99, Feisty Fan, $1.99, Feisty Fan. You don't have to give super chats, Feisty. We love you, Feisty. Movie Fanobi, $1.99, Mary Ashmead, the Lady of the Wrench, $2, and Mr. Roboto, $2. Thank you so much. Dennis, any final words?
Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out, and otherwise you might find yourself canceled by Netflix during our show.
Yeah. We were canceled by Netflix a long time ago. We just didn't listen. They fixed the glitch. All right, everybody. See you Wednesday unless some big news comes up and I'll put out a video. But in the meantime, be nice to each other and may the small folk sing songs of your greatness. Ciao.